Everyone in the mansion thought Arthur Sterling was asleep, but what happened next would change everything. At 75 years old, Arthur was one of the richest men in the city. He owned hotels, shipping lines, and tech companies. Yet he had lost something far more valuable than money. He had lost trust. Arthur Sterling sat motionless in his favorite burgundy armchair. His eyes were closed. His breathing was slow and steady. To anyone watching, he looked like a tired old man drifting into sleep. But Arthur was awake. He was watching, listening, waiting. Years of betrayal had turned him bitter. His children only visited to talk about his will. His partners smiled while planning behind his back. Even former staff had stolen from him. Arthur believed one thing above all else: if someone can steal without being caught, they will. That rainy afternoon, Arthur decided to test that belief again. On a small table beside his hand, he placed an open envelope. Inside were $5,000 in cash, clearly visible. Carelessly forgotten, or so it seemed. Moments later, a young maid named Sarah entered the library. She had only worked there for 3 weeks. Her face showed exhaustion, the kind money can't hide. Unbeknownst to Arthur, her 7-year-old son, Leo, followed quietly behind her. Schools were closed, and she had no one else. She whispered to him, begging him not to move, because if Arthur Sterling woke up, they would lose everything. Sarah left the room. The library fell silent. Only the fire cracked and the clock ticked. Arthur waited for the sound of curiosity, for footsteps, for greed. But the boy didn't move. Minutes passed. Then soft footsteps approached the chair. Arthur tensed. He was sure the child was reaching for the money. Instead, Arthur felt a small hand gently touch his arm. Then something warm was placed over his legs. A jacket. "You're cold," the boy whispered. "Mommy says sick people shouldn't get cold." Arthur's heart skipped. The boy noticed the envelope sliding off the table and quietly pushed it back. He picked up a notebook that had fallen and placed it beside the money. "Safe now," he whispered. Then he returned to his corner, shivering without his jacket. Arthur lay frozen. For the first time in decades, he didn't know what to think. He had set a trap for a thief and found kindness instead. When Sarah returned and saw the scene, she panicked. She thought her son had done something wrong. She begged for forgiveness before Arthur even spoke. Arthur finally opened his eyes. Instead of anger, he asked the boy one simple question. "Why did you give me your jacket?" The boy looked up and said, "Because you looked cold. Cold is cold, even if you're rich." Arthur tested them one last time, pretending the chair was ruined. Sarah offered to work for free, and the boy, he reached into his pocket and offered his most precious possession, a broken toy car that once belonged to his father. Arthur broke. In that moment, he realized the truth. The boy who had nothing was richer than he would ever be. Arthur Sterling had all the money in the world, but he was poor, until a child taught him how to be kind. Because sometimes a small jacket can warm the coldest heart.